Digital scrapbookers have beautiful curves on their bodies and also in their layouts. It's been fun over the years joking with digital scrapbookers about their beautiful curves and insinuating that um, they have beautiful curves on their bodies when we're actually talking about the beautiful curves on their layouts. I have to laugh. Here is my tutorial that I made ages ago um, when I first figured out how to do this. Um, Curved templates are not easy to make. Well, they're easy to make in Photoshop Elements, but they're not easy to make to um, specific specifications in Photoshop Elements. You have the pen tool in the full version of Photoshop where you can make curves, and you do not have that in Photoshop Elements. But that never stopped me from making things in Photoshop Elements. And what I'm going to teach you here today can be utilized in both versions, Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. And so even though if you have the Photoshop full version, um, you still will want to try to do it this way just so that you can learn your program. And so here goes. I have my Photoshop Elements open to a new 12 by 12 document, and I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to get my rectangular marquee tool, and I'm just going to, it doesn't matter the sizes, I'm just going to draw a rectangular box, but I do want the box to go from the right edge to the left edge. It's best if we do that. And I'm going to fill it in with black. I'd hit the right keys and Control D to deselect. I have my foreground and background colors set to black and white, and I filled that in simply by hitting Alt and backspace on my keyboard, and then Control D to deselect. And you can now see over here I have a new layer with that box, rectangular box in it. How tall the box is doesn't really matter, because you're not able to really control totally the outcome of your curves in Photoshop Elements. This is a matter of playing. You play with the various settings until you get something that, and you go, ah, that's so cool. But that's what we all love about digital scrapbooking, right? We all love that we can play until we get something cool. I love to play. It's fun to play. So we're going to go to the Filter drop-down menu, and we're going to go to Distort and then Wave. Now, playing with this takes time. It takes time, you know, to learn the various settings and what they do in the wave. So just have fun playing, and watch the little preview screen here. Now I would recommend Scene, which is your rounded for curves, but you know, if you want to play and have some pointy triangle curves, you can do so, or some more square curves. This would be great for, like, you know, fence look or something. So, you know, there's nothing in here that says you can't think outside of the box. But for an actual curve, we're going to use the scene or sign. I really never know how to say that. The first one for this purposes is best to be kept at 1, the number of waves. Also, it's probably best to leave this horizontal either at 1 or 100. The horizontal affects this left edge and this right edge, and we really don't want that to be affected. But you're going to see that the vertical does make a difference. You can play with it. You can see how it is kind of flattening my layouts or my curves some as I bring it down. Wavelength is important. If I bring this too far down, you're going to see it makes a whole bunch of waves. The top slider affects the box here, which is minimum. The bottom slider affects the maximum. So if you bring that on up, it works the best up on this end. As I said though, anything goes. And then you just move this around until you find something that you like. There, I kind of like my curves kind of spread out. Not too many curves. But as I said, anything goes. And the amplitude is how high your curve is. And so once again, the bottom slider is your maximum and the top slider is your minimum. Of course, your minimum has to be a lower number than your maximum. So like right now, if I try to move this slider, it won't move because it's already at my maximum. So if I want to move the minimum slider, I'm going to have to bump up the maximum slider. And the maximum slider kind of affects the tippy tops of the mountains. How high are they? And I think the minimum affects the valleys of the mountains, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure how curvy you want to be. I'm going to go about right in there and just play. You also have a wraparound or repeat edge pixels. I think the repeat edge works best for this. And click OK. And then you've got your beautiful curves. Now you can play with this. You see at this point I have curves on the top and the bottom. You can use that as a template. You go back to course 1. I've shared some of my curves that I've made there, I believe, and learn how to cut paper with this. But let's say we want it to be flat on the bottom. Well, you can do that in several ways. And you can take the rectangular marquee tool and draw a selection of that and hit delete on your keyboard and it's gone. Or you can, which is kind of fun to do, go ahead and just drop this off. This way you can kind of actually eye what it's going to look like. And go ahead and use your bounding boxes to play with this a little further. Let's say I don't like the way this curve goes off the page here. I want it to end a little bit lower. So I'm just going to, bring this out. Let's say I like that better. And maybe I like that better. Or I might hold down my control key and actually distort it. Maybe I like that better. And I'm going to hit accept. And there is a curve that I think is going to look great on my layout. It's a little bit high, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. Now I'm going to, you'll see though, the bounding box goes way down here because the black now is way off my page. So this is one of the quick tips and a way that you can utilize this quick tip that I've shown you before. Hit Control A on your keyboard and you have selected the whole outer edge. Go to Image and Crop, and now Control D to deselect, and now you can see my bounding box is only to the edges of the paper. It has cut off everything out in the gray area. So there we go, we have a curve. If you want to save this curve to reuse it, you make your background layer invisible there. You don't even need it at all to actually be doing this. And use your crop tool to crop this down. File, Save As, and save it as a ping. Uh, I look forward to seeing your beautiful curves and what you can do with them.